Let's go ahead and shoot my Mark V Deluxe in 340 Weatherby. Wait a minute, am I really showing off a 3-shot group when we all know 3-shot groups don't tell the full story, that you need to do at least 5, ideally 10 to 15 shot groups? Let's talk about it in this video. As a YouTuber, every time I post a short or a community post with a picture of a 3-shot group, I will always get at least a few comments that tell me, don't you know 3-shot groups mean absolutely nothing? Have you not watched the Hornady podcast? 3-shot groups just don't tell the whole story. Why aren't you doing 5, ideally 10 or 15 shot groups? So in today's video, I want to talk about 3 reasons why I only do 3-shot groups. Before I talk about my 3 reasons, I just want to explain why I'm bringing this up. In my most recent video where I featured a 7mm WSM, I was doing some load development with the 150 grain ELDX, and I had noticed that my hand loads, I could get 2 almost touching, and then there would be a third quote-unquote flyer. Now, I had got a little bit of flack for calling them flyers, when in reality, it really could just be part of the group dispersion. That's just what the gun shoots. And that if I had shot more than 3, that you would see that that so-called flyer would really just be part of the group, and it's quite normal. And you know what? I agree. I have been guilty of calling them flyers when, in a lot of times, they're not really a flyer. That's just part of the group. But sometimes they are flyers. Sometimes heat and wind and shooter error do actually make a flyer. So going forward, I could be a little more transparent and say, hey, this could really just be what the gun shoots. And it is what it is. Reason number 1, and I feel like this is the most important reason, at least for me, is I'm a hunter. I don't shoot F-class. I don't shoot PRS. All of my rifles are hunting rifles with very skinny barrels. For me, the most important shot as a hunter is the cold bore first shot. As long as that is hitting exactly where I want it to go, that's what's most important for me. And along with that, I don't do long distance hunting. So let's say when I do my awesome 3-shot group that's half MOA, and then suddenly if I start doing a 5-shot group or a 10-shot group and realize that so-called flyer makes it out to 1.5 inches, it doesn't really matter, because the longest shot I'm going to take is 400 yards. Lastly, with these hunting rifles, if you guys have seen my channel, you know I'm not shooting 6.5 Creedmoor. I'm not shooting 308 Winchester or 223 Remington. I'm shooting Magnums that require a lot of powder, that can be harder to shoot just because they kick a lot more, and they heat up the barrel a lot faster. Reason number 2, I don't have unlimited resources. I don't make a lot of money off of YouTube, and I certainly, unfortunately, don't get companies sending me powders or primers or new barrels if I shoot out a barrel. Now, I have been given bullets, and that has been awesome. But most of the time, I'm paying for the bullets just like you are. And with me shooting premium bullets, hunting bullets, it gets very expensive. I honestly can't afford or come up with more powder to do 10-shot groups in my 300 Weatherby, just to prove that it could be a 1 MOA gun with 10 shots. I can't do it. I can't afford it. And the powders that my guns like, you can't get IMR 7828 SSC anymore. You can't get Reloader 22. And with these bullets costing about $1.10 each bullet, there's no way I'm going to be doing 10-shot groups with them. And let's just clear this up. I am not the hand loader or the hunter that shoots one really good 3-shot group and calls it a day, that loads up a bunch of hunting rounds and just goes for it. Guys, I verify these. So the actual first time I shot this group, I got half MOA. The second time, I got about an inch group. I didn't save it for obvious reasons because it was like, The third time, I got this group. So this load's definitely a keeper for me. When at best it's getting 0.3 inch groups, at worst it's getting 1 inch groups. And probably on average it's about half MOA. I've also done that with my 257 Weatherby load. It absolutely loves the 110 grain AccuBond. This was my very first group. Here is the second group. And I had another group that was right around half MOA. So yes, I verify the load to make sure that it is somewhat repeatable. And reason number 3 why I only do 3-shot groups is my accuracy expectations. In other words, I don't care. I don't care if I have a gun that could shoot 10 or 15 shots all sub MOA. That's not really relevant to me as a hunter. Hopefully I only have to take 1 shot, and at worst 2, 3, maybe 4. And at the distances again that I'm hunting, at worst 1.5 inch groups, it's not a big deal to me. With that being said, I still think as a reloader, you should try to find the best load that you can find, the best one that shoots in your gun, so that you can make a humane shot on an animal. And whether you're a FUD stuck in the 20th century that calls it, that there's a flyer, or you're a Hornady fanboy that says, it's just part of the group dispersion, it just shows what the groups really do, I don't really care. Flyers or the true group dispersion is going to happen. You keep shooting, your groups are going to get bigger. That's just how it is. The obvious question you might then ask is, why then do I post 3-shot groups and make it seem like they're this huge accomplishment? Well, obviously, other than to make content, it shows the gun has potential. It shows that I have further work to do and potentially have a pretty darn good load. From the city shooting down there, and he goes, "Oh, we used to just be able to." I mean, other than me trying to make half bullets work.